Welcome everybody to What's New in Pega Customer Decision Hub for Infinity 24/1. I'm Matt Nolan. I'm the Senior Director of Product Marketing for Decision Sciences at Pega, and I'm here with Shoal Perlman, who's the VP of Development and Product Management for both AI and Decisioning, if I've got that right.
Yep.
So Shoal, can you, if you don't mind, just for the context of the folks listening, can you kind of explain your role, like kind of what do you cover for the most part? 'Cause I think it's relevant to the conversation.
So I run product and engineering, primarily for a product called Customer Decision Hub,
Okay.
which we'll be talking about here today. But because so much of the technology is applicable in other places, I also look after the technology for Process AI
Okay.
and also natural language processing as we use it in customer service.
So the technology you're using for decisioning, is used in multiple places
That's
whenever
right.
you're talking decisioning across Pega.
Exactly, yep.
Okay, so can you explain a little bit about, a lot of people that might be new or listening for the first time, what is Pega Customer Decision Hub? Can you kind of roll it up a little bit? Because I think it's hard to understand for some folks.
Yeah, so Customer Decision Hub is really about having a central brain that our clients can use to make empathetic decisions for their customers,
Okay.
but also balance that against what that enterprise really wants, right?
Okay.
So what it'll do is it will literally loop through all the customers that they have every day, and sometimes multiple times a day, and figure out like, hey, what's the best conversation that I could start with this customer right now?
That might be 20 million customers, right?
Absolutely,
You
yeah.
look through them and it might change, and what you actually say to them might change day after day, minute after minute, like just depending on what they're doing. and
Yeah,
saying. That
something
kinda
new
work?
just happened in the conversation, it'll have to redecision.
Okay, so fair enough. So that Customer Decision Hub, so for 24/1, what were you really trying to do? What was your goal, if you will, for the release?
Yeah, so we've for a long time, we've had this mission of being able to make one-to-one decisions, but make it understandable for marketers, right? It's always been a little bit hard for marketers who are used to blasting out segments
Sure.
to be able to get their head around like, wait a minute, I'm not coming up with a segment? Like, how does this thing work, right?
How do I actually target somebody?
Exactly, and so it's been about like blending those two worlds together.
Okay, like talk to me, is there any particular features in this that kind of play into that, if you will, to help support marketers kind of along that journey?
Yeah, so what I'm really excited about in this release is for a long time we've had this challenge of, okay, so I want to be making decisions using one-to-one principles, right? But my organization is expecting me to meet certain metrics that really have nothing to do with that,
It might
right?
be very much value segment related or something along those lines.
Yeah, or
right?
they may just be like, hey, how many people who are in this certain segment did you get
Absolutely.
to accept this certain product, right? So key audience is really about being able to have your cake and eat it too, right? It's about making the decisions using one-to-one strategies, but then being able to do reporting through the lens of those segments.
Okay. So ultimately, you're going to define a segment within Pega and then use that segment to report on any kind of performance that you need to, one way or another. Is that fair?
Exactly, yep.
Okay. So you talked, I think nowadays data has become a very, very big thing that we talk about to clients every single day. So from an integration perspective, kind of what did you do in 24/1? Are there investments that you've made? Because I know it's really important to most customers, and they're getting more and more, right? Is that fair?
Yeah, well, one of the things that we're hearing a lot from our clients is they are building up their own data lakes in Google Cloud, right?
Okay.
So they've decided like, hey, my data estate is going to be in Google Cloud. I'm going to put everything in there, and I want you guys to be able to make use of that data, right? So one of the things that we've invested in this release is being able to listen to changes to those customer profiles through Google PubSub and update the customer profiles in real time.
Okay, so basically they publish, if you will, through Google PubSub. We pick it up, we hear it, and they stream it, and then we can pick it up and use it for real-time decisioning however we need to. Is that fair?
You got it, yep.
Okay, so I would probably be remiss if I didn't ask you about generative AI,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Because it's one of those things that comes up. It's a consistent topic. People talk about it all day long, every day, right? So in 24/1, kind of where were you going with Gen AI, and kind of what was your goals there?
Well, first I got to go back and say like 2023 was a really fun year. I mean,
was. We
the
actually
whole
had-
industry had a lot of fun, right? But for us, it's not so much about like technology just for technology's sake. It's about how can we actually put it to use to solve real problems
Yeah.
that stand in the way of
Business
adopting
problems at
one-to-one.
the end of the day, yeah.
So one of the long-standing problems has been like, hey, this brain does a great job at being able to use adaptive machine learning models to figure out, well, how should I say this certain thing to this person? But the problem we've had is, where do you get all that content, right? You need a lot of different ways of saying the same thing.
And trying to scale up is hard, right? It really is.
It is hard. It's been a real barrier to being able to scale up. And so last year we put out the 23 release, and that was the one where we introduced intelligent treatments using generative AI to create lots of different variants of a treatment. This year, what we focused on is being able to answer questions like, hey, what are my best performing actions? right? Which of my actions are actually really not doing well at all?
Sure.
Now, you could do that by clicking in the UI and finding the right thing to click on. But the reality is we've learned this. Like, nobody wants to sit down and like dig through all the screens. Nobody really wants to take the training class. They
Run
just
all
wanna,
the reports. Like there's a lot of resource. It's resource intensive.
They just, yeah, and they don't want to have the patience. And I'm not like saying they're wrong. I'm just saying we're humans, right? We just want to ask the question and we want to get the answer. So a lot of the focus has been creating a conversational interface to be able to ask those kind of questions and have it analyze the data and give you the answer.
As you're talking, I was kind of thinking, I can think of a million questions I'd want to ask this thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, and those could be really complex. I could put multiple questions together. I could ask it to a couple things and then ask it to do something for me. So what's the scope of just what you did in 24.1? Like, if you had to put some bounds around it, how far did you go?
Yeah, so we've really been focusing exactly to your point. Like, there's so many things that we could do and that we want to do, but we got to make something work really well for a specific problem. And the one that we really focused on in 24.1 is that one about answering analytical questions about action performance. It's the analogous conversational interface to a feature that we put out over the past couple of years called Action Performance Tracker.
Okay.
And this really goes hand in hand with that.
Gotcha. Okay. So as far as 24.2 other releases go, where you're looking in the future, like what are you thinking about doing? Where are you going to take this in the near future?
Yeah, well, as soon as you can ask questions like, hey, what are my best performing actions or my worst, the natural next question is, what do I do about it, right?
Yeah.
How do I actually, can you coach
How do I
me?
action that, right?
How
Like,
do
what
I
do
action, exactly. Yeah. So where we're going next is going to be coaching you on how can you bring the best practices of one-to-one customer engagement to actually improve your game. And what's right after that is we don't want to stop there. We want people to be able to say, just do it for me, right? Don't run off and go and change a bunch of stuff without telling me, right? We always want to keep the human in the loop, but we don't want them to have to like drive every single step to figuring it out.
We just want to make it easier for them to actualize their intent inside the software. Super easy. Go in, you do it, and you run it, and it just happens. And you don't want to have to go through the entire process to make
Exactly. We want to make our clients look like heroes.
Okay. Well, fantastic. Well, Shola, I want to say thank you. So if you folks would like any additional information on what's new in Pega Customer Decision Hub or what's new in Pega Infinity 24.1, then you can go to Pega Community and get all of your videos, all of your information about what's going on with the product. And if you want documentation, you go to Pega Docs, and that's pretty much the place for that. So I'm Matt Nolan. I'm here with Shola Perlman, and thank you very much.